I'm Jacob Hamilton,
And I'm Hidro and Joseph.
and welcome to the Hardwood Huddle, a basketball podcast where we break down the latest news and games in the NBA and basketball world. Hidro, how you doing, man?
Happy to be back on the podcast.
Seriously,
Uh,
right?
we've had most of the second round going by as we before our last since our last podcast. So
Yeah, lots of technical difficulties, of course, right?
it's all good
Um,
though. The second round took a little while for home teams to wake up.
yep,
A lot of road victories, and it's been interesting. So for all the people who said that the NBA is boring back in December and January, yeah, where you at? Where you at?
seriously,
Because this is super exciting,
yeah,
and we don't know who's gonna win.
no, no, not anymore. At least, I mean, I think a lot of people's predictions are all screwed up, especially on the games. I don't think a lot of people were expecting at least two of these series to be looking the way. I mean, honestly, three, because I don't think anyone expected to see what happened in Game One against Thunder versus Nuggets. Um, but we missed two series in the first round that I kind of want to go over here a little bit. We'll
Of
start
course you
with
do.
your
Of
team,
course you do.
the Rockets. How we feeling?
Feeling like Cancun, man. It's a wrap. Uh, Congrats to the Warriors. Their last gasp effort pulled through in 7 games and one on the road. They did similarly to the Sacramento Kings a few years back, and Sacramento never recovered. Haven't been to the playoffs since. Sorry for like the beam, but I'm hoping that my Rockets team does not fall victim to the same fate
Yeah.
as they are currently in the off season, and the Warriors are suffering in their second round as a result of their first round battle.
Yeah. Uh, I mean, talking about the Warriors at least a little bit here. I mean, like this is not what they expected to happen at all. I mean, obviously, because who's expecting what was it, a grade one hamstring? I believe a hamstring pull, grade
Yes,
one. Like,
Steph Curry.
like it's just sad to start seeing these old guys start to come out of our game a little bit. Like we obviously saw LeBron get injured like in the last game of his first round. Now we have Steph. Jimmy got hurt earlier. It's like the Warriors honestly, I guess, can't catch a break, I guess. But I mean, when you have Draymond out there attacking human beings, I mean,
That's plenty. That's plenty of breaks if you consider Draymond's antics. So
exactly.
it evens out to me.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
it's
we'll do a dead ball review on Houston
yep.
in a later show. But I'd like to get into a lot of these second round matchups
Yeah.
and see what we got.
Sweet.
We never got predictions or anything, but I'll let you know who I thought was going to win
Yep. I'll do
and
the
how it's
same as
looking.
well. All right. First series that I want to start with, obviously, I feel like the craziest series of the bunch. Knicks versus Celtics versus Knicks, technically, going by ranking wise, but obviously it's not looking that way. Knicks are up to the Celtics 2-0 right now. I mean, what are your thoughts on this series? We haven't really talked about it much. I'm interested to see where your head's at with all this.
Excited for the Knicks fan base.
Yep.
They've been hungry for some excitement and some time. And to me, the last time I can remember a Knicks team doing really solidly in the playoffs, and I could be wrong. I think it was like 2012 ish, where they made it to the semifinals, and
Um.
they ran into the Heatles
I'm trying to think.
and got whooped. That was an Amari Stoudemire, Carmelo Anthony team. So
That might have been obviously the
them,
Knicks had like that second round beef with Trey Young, right? That was second round, not West. That was not Eastern Conference. No, yeah,
oh,
that was second
if,
round.
if that was second round, then maybe that's the closest they've been. Trey Young and the Atlanta Hawks made the conference finals, I believe, in
Yeah.
2021.
Yep.
So yeah, a lot of that fan base is starving for Vic for a championship team,
Yeah.
and the front office responded by pulling in Karl Anthony Towns and Mikal Bridges for a
Yep.
ton of draft picks, and Julius Randle going to Minnesota. So they did their best to put their best foot forward, considering they have, in my opinion, the best point guard in the Eastern Conference in Jalen Brunson.
Yep. No doubt.
And it's paying dividends. We're gonna get to the Celtics in a second, but the Knicks are pretty are sitting pretty right now, up 2-0. Won both games in Boston, coming back from behind in both of them, double digit comebacks in both of them, and
Yep.
they only need to win 2 out of the next 5 games. So I
Yeah.
like their chances.
Yeah, I mean, on paper, I like their chances as well. I'm still not skeptical about the Knicks because obviously they came back from at least double digit deficits. I believe the game 2 was 16. I don't remember what the deficit was in game 1, but um
They were down 20, I believe.
20. Yeah, I mean, definitely like insane. I mean, I've enjoyed watching it. Like obviously, like my friend's a Knicks fan and he's enjoying it as well. But I'm also hating on him as well. That's just because he's my friend. It's no hate against the Knicks personally. It's just against him personally. But I my just first thoughts on this series right now being at 2-0. I had Celtics in 6. So this initially, I mean, if going off my pick, I'd have the Celtics winning the next 4. I don't realistically know if they're going to do that. Um, but I still feel like the Celtics can win this series. I think they're still a dominant team that didn't let up a win against the Knicks in the regular season, and obviously regular season postseason is a lot different. And Jason Tatum is a different player in the regular season and the postseason. He's a playoff dropper. No, um, but yeah, I obviously I'm feeling good about the Knicks, but I feel I wouldn't count the Celtics out here. I think if anyone does that, I feel like that'd be pretty immature. I feel like they're the reigning champions. You never know what can happen. So I think we're due for a crazy Celtics blowout here in game 3. That's my prediction for game 3, but that was kind of also my prediction in game 2. Obviously, I didn't say it on the show because we didn't have one, but that's what I thought was going to happen, and that was wrong.
I know
I'm still riding with my gut here.
I know somebody who did think that the Celtics were gonna blow them out in game 2, and that was Paul Pierce,
Yep.
former Celtic and Hall of Famer. I believe he's a Hall of Famer. And
I
Paul
believe
Pierce.
so.
And do you remember what he said? He said something about
Yes, I have the tweet right
there's
here.
no chance that the Celtics lose in game 2. The first game was a fluke, and there's 0% chance that the the Knicks could win game 2. You could bet your house on it.
Yep. And that did not happen. And he had to walk to school. I was about to say he had to walk to work 15 miles in a row. He said no shoes on, barefoot. He didn't do that, but he walked 15 miles to his workplace because he guaranteed a Celtics win in game 2. I mean, Paul Pierce is he's a human being that just doesn't stop giving me great anger and upset whenever I see that he says some stuff. He really bothers me. He's super funny. Don't get me wrong. Like as just a person, he's just funny. And I'm smart enough to admit that. But God, does he just not know when to shut his mouth sometimes? I mean, it's so bad sometimes where I'm like, Paul Pierce, you just need to stop talking. Because I bet it probably would have happened game 2 blowout if he didn't say that. He probably jinxed him, and that was as simple as that. And then he had to walk to work. And then Kevin Garnett shows up and tells him to buckle up as he's walking 15 miles to his workplace. I mean, like, gosh, Paul Pierce, man. I mean, what are we going to do?
Before the season started, I had my predictions in my Belly Up Sports predictions article for the season, and just based on last season's results, and how dominant the Celtics looked at home. I think they didn't lose more than like 4 games all season
Yeah.
at home last year, which was an incredible number when you think about it. And I said that I expected the Celtics versus the Knicks in the conference finals, with the Knicks having the home court advantage and Celtics getting by them and going on to repeat as champions. But as that was in October or September, so after the season, looking at it and knowing what I knew about the Knicks, I felt that the Knicks could compete with the Celtics,
Mm-hmm.
but I thought that the Celtics would still win, um, given that I felt the Celtics would have a. I'm talking about right before the playoffs, when the Celtics are playing with the Magic and then the Knicks are playing the Pistons in round one.
Yep.
I felt like the Celtics would have a fairly easy time with the Magic, and then the the Knicks would struggle a little bit with the Pistons,
Yeah.
and that would soften them up for the Celtics to start raining hell on them
Yep.
from 3 point land, and with the short rotation that Tom Thibodeau likes to run, um, it would have been hell to try to chase them 3 point shooters off of the line. Little did I know that the Celtics would run into a little bit of an issue with the Magic. Tatum would get hurt and miss a game in that series.
Yep.
The Knicks would have an easier time than they expected with the Pistons.
Mm-hmm.
The games were close, but the Knicks were the better team,
Yeah.
and they kept the Pistons winless on the at home. So that means the Knicks are undefeated on the road, and that has followed them into the next round. They have beat Boston twice on the road. They're still undefeated on the road
Yep.
uh, as a road team. So that's impressive. The Celtics are 25 out of their last 100 3 point shots
Yeah.
in the
I
last 2
mean,
games. 25 out of 100. That's 25%.
ridiculous.
That's not going to win you any games. But the fact that one game, I think the first game was in overtime, and then
Yep.
this second game was a close game.
Yeah, down to the
But
wire.
those are the type of games you can expect from a team that can bludgeon you from the inside or outside, and you are depending on your 3 point shot to make or miss. You're missing Sam Hauser, who's out with the injury, and he's one of your better 3 point shooters.
Yep.
But outside of that, at the end of the day, the shots are not falling. So
No.
if I'm a Boston fan and I'm looking at, I need to win 4 out of the next 5 games to move on to the next round, I do not like my chances.
Fair
You also
enough.
got Indiana. You also got potentially Indiana sitting there waiting for you, and they want their revenge from last year. And trust
Yep.
me, that they know how to play you too. So that's it. It's looking like a tough hill to climb if you're a Celtic.
Yeah. I mean, just kind of like touching on that 3 point stat, the 25 for 100. Is that actually like the true like combine? Oh, it is actually the true combined totals. See, like that, like they just like, like, I mean, game one shooting. Let me pull up the. I want to make sure I'm.
I was hoping I gave you those stats before you gave your prediction about you think the Celtics could still come back.
Yeah, I
But
mean, I
you
knew
went
they were
first.
shooting insanely low from the 3 point line, because that obviously in game one shooting 15 for 60 is obviously a big deal, and that's what they talk about in the media, obviously, and like looking at box scores, that's a very noticeable stat. But that it's just insane. And I mean, the Celtics also having like big like guys like Jason Tatum dropping off in the fourth quarter of game one with 2 points in the fourth, with 0 for 7 from field, 0 for 5 from three, 2 for 2 from free throws. So it's like just
You're not
can't
gonna get a
happen.
lot of free throws shooting threes, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, just even some of the 3 point shots that I've seen, like from the guys in Boston, like this is going back to game one. Jason Tatum had pretty much the perfect opportunity to win them game one and takes a step back three over Mitchell Robinson. Like, what is that shot attempt? Like, you have the bigger center on you and you're obviously faster and have a quicker first step. Why don't you take him to the basket? Like, he can blow by him. Like, I don't understand that. And then taking a fully contested three is truly one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my entire life. And also in game one, he did the same thing again in game one, or in game two. Sorry. I mean,
so you don't just look at Tatum for that. That's a team wide thing, and you
of course,
could point to Joe Mazzulla and whatever his analytics, I guess, is telling him, because he saw what happened in game one in terms of the ridiculous amount of shot attempts from three-point land, and decided, you know what, we won a little Mickey Mouse championship last year doing that, and running into a Miami Heat team and then, you know, a Pacers team and all that stuff that just weren't ready for that barrage of threes.
Yep.
Made no real adjustments. All of a sudden, we're not winning as much at home, but we're going to go into the playoffs with the exact same plan and no backup plan, win or lose.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if that was wise, because now they're on a road to a very raucous Knicks stadium. It's $750 just to walk into the door of Madison Square Garden on Saturday for game 3. That's just to get into the door. I don't even know if that's a seat. So that's just to walk in.
Yeah.
$750. They're going to be yelling their asses off trying to get the Knicks over the finish line. And those three-point shots are just going to be that much harder. I don't trust Boston's game plan if it's going to be the same game plan from game 1 and game 2. I think the shots, you know, it's a make or miss league.
Yeah.
But you got to make them 4 out of 5 times. That's 48 minutes of basketball times 4. That's going to be very difficult to do that.
Yeah.
For 192 minutes worth of basketball.
Exactly.
To win a series.
And you're just not going to win a game just shooting threes the entire time, just like sticking to one game plan and then getting a significant lead, I guess, if that's what you want to call a 16-point lead or a 20-point lead in the NBA today. I mean, then you just blow it there. Like, I mean, like I saw a stat. It was like the exact like minutes to where like the Celtics were winning these games, and then the Knicks. It's like the Knicks were winning for with the 2 wins, they've been in the lead for like 6 minutes or something. 12 minutes. 12 minutes. Like very slim time compared to like how many minutes they've actually all played. So yeah, I mean, I think we're due for we're due for a good game here. Obviously, they were both good games, but I think we're still going to get another one in the Garden. It's going to be loud. You're going to hear a lot of heckling. I mean, who knows what even happens then, right? Like we're in for a good one. I mean,
Lee.
Say it again.
Spike Lee will be there.
Yep. It'll be, you got the whole what do they call that? The certain section that all the celebrities sit in. They call it like a certain name. I always
Celebrity Row or something.
Celebrity Row or something like that. Yeah, I mean, I mean, playing at the Garden's got to be surreal. But yeah, I don't know. I'll give my pick for game 3. I guess I'll take the Celtics in game 3. I mean, they do have a road record of 33-8. That's one less road win than the Celtics or the Cavs. Sorry. So I think they can still win on the road. I don't think the Garden is truly going to scare them, but the game plan is going to have to be completely different with how if they want to win this game and win this series in general. I mean, because they just cannot keep doing what they've been doing the entire time. It's just not going to work. And I mean, like, I don't know if you saw these rumors that I've seen on Twitter, that Kristaps Porzingis might have like a sickness, like a bad sickness that like could limit him from playing. Like I've seen, like talking about like AIDS, maybe like Chris, like what are we doing here? Yeah, I've seen some crazy stuff on Twitter, and maybe it's because like I'm like a little like tapped into like Knicks Twitter, but like they're saying some crazy stuff about this man.
I think that's a joke.
I don't know.
About the HIV or whatever.
It's a
But
crazy rumor
because we wouldn't even be able to disclose that if it was
yeah, I mean he wouldn't be
if it
able to
was
play
true
basketball
anyway.
at that
So,
point. I mean
but
we've seen what happens before with situations like that. So
but it's always something with Kristaps Porzingis availability when it
yep.
comes to playing. So I my prediction for the Celtics winning the championship back in September was in spite of the fact that Kristaps Porzingis is going to miss some time. I
Mm-hmm.
just assume that he's naturally going to miss some time, and that between Jason Tatum, um,
Jalen
being
Brown.
sat down, Jason Tatum being sat down in the Olympics for the Olympics, and Jalen Brown not being selected at all for the Olympic team,
Yep.
they would come with kind of a vengeance in the
Yeah.
season, and that would override the lull you kind of get from winning a championship, like the being comfortable. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm not seeing it. I think they're going to come with the same game plan and hope those shots fall. And if those
Yeah.
shots fall, they can still lose because they're not getting the free throws uh,
Yep.
that they would need to sustain, and their defense, especially against guys like Jalen Brunson, is not effective.
No.
He's scoring at will against all of their defensive players, and they're supposed to be a good defensive team.
Yep.
So I think the Knicks are gonna win Game 3 also, um, as well as just like they won the first two. If there's a tight game, I respect Jalen Brunson more than I respect Jason Tatum.
Yeah. So your pick, what would be your prediction now for this series? Then are we thinking a clean sweep here?
Initially, before the series started, I had the Celtics winning in 7 games probably.
Mm-hmm.
I've got no series ending in six for whatever reason. I've yet to see a
Fair enough.
series that I look at and be like, it's a 6 game series. But seven, I had them in seven. Now I got the Knicks probably in five.
I mean,
And be lucky if the Celtics win in New York, to be honest. It's going to be really tough for them to take a game.
yeah. I mean, it's definitely going to be really tough. I mean, like it's like even though they've played there before during regular season games, I mean, like MSG during the playoffs is completely different. It's like a completely different environment.
I,
That
I suspect that the NBA will stick Scott Foster in one of those games,
yeah,
game 3 or game 4, and
more than likely.
he has a way of controlling how the outcome can look like when it
Yep.
comes to refereeing games. And that's a whole nother segment in the off season
Yeah.
about the whole Scott Foster situation, because that he finally came back.
Yeah.
And it's funny that he missed the last 2.5 months of the NBA season, and that's been the most exciting part of the NBA this last 2.5 months. He got hurt a little bit after the All Star break or something like that.
Yeah.
All Star break was trash. Everybody hated that. Guess what? All of a sudden, NBA takes off. All these close games come from behind.
Yep.
Teams can't win at home.
Yeah.
Road teams are doing all this winning. Now Scott Foster just came back to referee his first playoff game. I
Yep.
think last night or the other night before,
Yeah.
and and that was the Nuggets. I don't know if we want to go to that one,
Yeah.
but
We can go to that one. I mean, honestly, I didn't.
we can talk
Maybe
about
this
it.
is like just like a me thing, and I'm not like one to like look at like the refs like all the time. Like I didn't even notice that Scott Foster was out for 2.5 months. But I mean, if this was a couple of years ago, I would have noticed because obviously, if you have, I mean, as you know, if you have Chris Paul on your team, Scott Foster is going to be the number one like villain for your team, like for as long as he's there. And those were some times that I, yeah, I mean, I'm not. in retrospect, I think happy on those times with Chris Paul on the Suns. But Nuggets versus Thunder, it's a 1-1 series. Obviously, game one was one of the craziest games I've ever seen, honestly. Aaron Gordon hitting a game winner, technically, with a 3.2 on the clock to win the game. Russell Westbrook, I mean, I know we'll deep dive into game two, but I mean, I want to talk about game one here. I mean, I thought Russell Westbrook at the end of that game one was taking the ball himself, and I thought he just had tunnel vision, and I thought we were going to see like a Russ like game winning layup, but eventually he passes it to Aaron Gordon for the three in the corner. I mean, what a series it's been for this one, but obviously game two looked a lot different. So how we feeling about this 1-1 tied series now, I guess?
So there was a clip about showing, I guess, the Nuggets broadcast or something, when Russell Westbrook had the ball with a few seconds left in the fourth quarter, and all of them were like gasping for air, like, "Oh my God, he's gonna do something crazy! Oh no!" And then he passes it to Aaron Gordon, and Aaron Gordon makes a shot, and you can see them all just like collapsing in like relief. It was so crazy. They were super excited, but first of all, shout out to Russell Westbrook for kind of resurrecting what felt like him going on the downside of the hill when it comes to his career. The LA moves weren't great between the Lakers and the Clippers, and he was seen as a liability until he got a good partner in crime in Nikola Jokic, and Nikola Jokic was able to utilize the way he back cuts and all that stuff. And their whole Nuggets team does that because they're already comfortable looking for Jokic passes the same way. So it's kind of like they're playing to Russell Westbrook's strengths to some degree, and the fact that the Jamal Murray's missing in action a lot of the times, injury, so he had the ability to didn't have to come off the bench like he was doing it with the Lakers and stuff like that. And the Clippers and all this, and he could be depended upon with the starting lineup, which obviously makes him more comfortable as a player. So I like Russell Westbrook's fit with the Nuggets, and it's paying dividends out on the court. So I'm excited for what the Nuggets have to look forward to. Actually, low key, if they're able to make it to like a conference finals or a finals or something, I might be interested in trying to go to a game. I've never been to Denver, but I think that would be exciting, and I'm always excited to watch Nikola Jokic play, who was my MVP pick. So we got MVPs versus MVP here, and the winner should be announced for the MVP award sometime this series. So we'll look forward to that and have a pod to discuss that. But it's Nikola Jokic versus SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And the Thunder, I think a lot of people say that it wouldn't matter. The fouls that Scott Foster called on in game two in his return after a 2.5 month layoff from injury. He came into game two, and all of a sudden the home team completely controlled the game from start to finish. Unlike anything we've seen in the playoffs thus far, all of a sudden something different happens, and you could tell me, oh, Mark Donald all of a sudden had good coaching strategy and all that stuff. I disagree. I think it had a lot to do with the referees. As somebody who has refereed basketball before, there are ways to control how a team plays, aggressiveness or not, and how a team can take control of a game, and the foul count could be perfectly the same. You could have the same number of fouls on each team, and it depends on where those fouls are or how they're called. Can make or break an entire game. And with Scott Foster obviously being a crew chief, the other referees fall in line. So if I'm the if I'm the Nuggets, I'm just hoping that he doesn't pop up on the schedule again.
Yeah. No, I feel like normally they try not to give like the same ref like I mean, obviously like when they have to, they'll give them like another series or another game in like the same series. So like if he's gonna ref like another game in this series, I think it'd probably be like game 5 or game 6 if anything, because today is game 3, and then game 4 I believe is Sunday. So yeah, I mean I don't know if he gets to ref that series like until game 5 at least. So I think the Nuggets are sitting pretty for a while. With
What do you think of the MVP matchup? Uh, Jokic numbers versus SGA's numbers
um
after 2 games.
I mean, obviously, looking at Jokic's numbers in game 1, 42 points, 22 boards, 6 assists. I mean, that's a crazy game, shooting 51% from the field. I mean, and Shea obviously did his thing, obviously, in game 1 with 33 points, 10 boards, and 8 assists, along with 2 steals and 1 block. But he wasn't even like the main factor in that game for that team. I mean, it was definitely Alex Caruso. Um, but game 2 obviously tells a different story. But let me pull up the stats here. I just want to make sure I have them right. Jokic only having 17 points, 8 boards, and 6 assists. Not only, I say, but when we were used to at least 30-point triple doubles from Jokic. But Shea himself having 34 points, 4 boards, and 8 assists. I mean, I'd probably say it's just like the series. I mean, it's tied player wise. I mean, Shea obviously had a game in game 1 still when Jokic did have that 40-point almost triple double, I'll say. Um, but I mean, Shea had a 51 plus minus, which is truly one of the craziest things I've ever seen. I didn't get to watch this game. I was at a dinner, and the TV was so far away that my terrible eyes couldn't see. And so obviously when I went to go box score watch after, looking at that 51 plus minus blew me away. But I'll call it tied for the. I mean, if we're going game by game for just those two guys, I'd say it's probably tied in the sense of like performances.
Yeah, I think SGA is probably a little bit ahead
Mm-hmm.
statistically, and I just sent you the comparison for the
Oh,
on the
okay.
phone, so you can see the MVP battle through the first 2 games.
Yeah.
Still tight,
Yeah.
but you know, I think that the refereeing kind of played a role in game 2 being a total
Mm-hmm.
like completely different thing from game 1, and we'll see what game 3 looks like in terms of predictions. Um, I think initially I didn't know if this would be the game 2 matchup in my predictions article on bellyupsports.com before the season started. I had the Thunder making the finals and losing to the Celtics. And so moving on to the start of the playoffs and seeing that the Thunder were going to get this Grizzlies team that was going to be, food for them,
Yeah.
and the Nuggets were going to have to fight with the Clippers for. I think I had it going 7 games. Then I thought that the Thunder would take this series. So I
Mm-hmm.
guess I'll have to stick with that and say that I still have the Thunder uh, moving on, and that would probably be a 7 game series. I find it hard. I really find it hard to say a team's gonna win in 6 a
Mm-hmm.
lot of the times because the favorite has to win on the road for the
Yeah.
6th game, and I the Knicks and maybe the Pacers might be the only 2 teams who I've seen have that have that in them to close out a game in 6 on the road type
Yeah.
thing. So I haven't really seen that from any of the other teams in the playoffs thus far. So that's the reason I can't really go 6 and 5. Didn't make sense
Yeah. Five
after the
five's
first
too
round.
little.
So
five's too little. I mean, they're always due for a game like how game one was, and then obviously like just like a magnet ball game from like Jamal Murray. That's always due for that's at least one game a series that you're going to get that. That's also like the same thing for the Knicks and Celtics series as well that I forgot to mention. I mean, the Knicks are still due for a magnet ball series where they're just or a magnet ball game where they're just blowing the Celtics out. I feel like from start to finish. I feel like that can happen in that series as well. I initially had Thunder in 6 on for my pick. I don't know looking at it now if that's what I'd still have it as. I feel like the Nuggets can definitely get 3 wins, but
you'd have to go up into elevation to go get that.
Yeah,
to go win Game 6. I'm not saying that happen.
Yeah,
Personally.
that's why I'm torn now. I'll say I'll stick with my prediction. I'm not going to go back on my word because I do have it written down here, so it is cemented. But I would not be surprised if this goes to 7 games at all. Like this is a series that anything can happen. But also, I wouldn't be surprised if honestly the Thunder can go out and just win the rest of them, and like it's like just blowouts and blowouts. Even though that last game was reffed by Scott Foster, I feel like I think the Thunder are almost capable of anything. So it's kind of hard to say that they can't do something like that.
David Adelman, coach of the Nuggets, has only lost 3 games now?
3 or 4 games now. 4 games, I believe.
Oh, yeah, he's only lost 4 games as a head coach. So
yep. Yeah, not too bad, right?
That speaks to his ability to make adjustments.
Yeah,
and we'll see what he does to make adjustments here. Jokic fouled out of the last game, correct?
Let me make sure I have the correct info.
Very Scott Foster of the NBA.
Yeah.
To foul out the MVP candidate.
Yeah.
Instead of letting home teams continue to lose.
Yeah. Yeah, he did foul out. I mean, I don't know how much. I mean, if you get beat 149 to 106, I mean, I don't know how much like one person. I mean, it's hard.
I think the fouls were legit too. By the way, it's not.
Yeah,
it's not.
I'd have to go back and specifically watch the fouls, but I can. I'd believe it. Let me pull this up. So I just want to make sure that we have our picks here so we can go back to these when the second round is over. You said Knicks in 7? You said Knicks 7. Knicks in 5. Knicks in 5. And then Thunder in 7 as well. So I'll make sure to mentally note that. I mean, like I feel like this series has been like another crazy one to me as well. I feel like everyone agrees. I mean, we got Cavs versus Pacers here. Pacers are up 2-0 on the number 1 seed Cleveland. I mean,
overrated.
Yeah, right. I mean, Tyrese Halliburton just proving just a point. I mean, we have game 3 today, and game 3 for the Thunder versus the Nuggets is today as well. And that would be a 7 p.m. Pacific time. And now we have Cavs versus Pacers. Yeah, Tyrese Halliburton, a game 2, hitting a step back 3 over Jared Allen. Tyrese Halliburton just taking everything personal, I guess. I mean, he's just kind of coming through and like, what was the lead that the Cavs had at one point in this game? Biggest lead, 20.
Yeah, I think it was 20.
20-point lead.
20-point leads aren't the same in the NBA these days.
No, I mean, if you want to guarantee win a game, you have to be close to like 30. Even that is like comebackable. I mean, like I've seen I think the Clippers blew a 30-point lead to the Suns during the regular season. Like, I mean, like it was.
Or you just got to play the Heat and that'll guarantee you.
Yeah.
A dub.
Let me pull up game 1 stats. I want to have those up. Game 1, Tyrese Halliburton, obviously 22 points, 13 assists, doing what he normally does with Andrew Nembhard, 23 points and 6 assists. Game one, for some reason, I just can't remember game one. Game one of this series was super early. I don't know if you noticed that. I felt like it was like a super early out of all the series, but game two, I obviously can remember that one with the Tyrese Halliburton walk off three. But I do have a little bit of some notes for that. Hold on, let me pull up. I mean, where is it? Jeez. See, like my Google Doc is not working. There we go. Okay. Um, I mean, Donovan Mitchell and Ty Jerome cannot take a combined of 50 shots together. That is something that the Cavs obviously need to fix. I mean, it's just, yeah. I mean, I'm at a like what they're down 2-0 to the Pacers going into Indiana now. Like what? I mean, you're seriously at a like. I'd be worried for a sweep here. Like it is, even though the Cavs do have the best. I want to make sure I have the correct and correct stats here. Where is it? 30-11 on the road. I mean, but still, I mean, like playoffs, a little different scenario. Cavs, I mean, they're kind of. I feel like they've kind of shown to be like nothing like in the playoff sense. I mean, what they got beaten. What round was that last year?
Which one? The Cavs? Second
Yep,
round.
second round last year. I mean, like what are your thoughts on this series thus far?
I blame the Miami Heat for this. I blame the Miami Heat for this. The Cavaliers had an easy first round go of it playing a 10th seed
Mm-hmm.
and are not equipped to get a lead and maintain it like they were doing in the regular season. Like, because they spent 4 games in 2 weeks,
Yeah,
essentially. So you get a week. So you get, as the 1 seed, you get a week off before the playoffs start,
yep,
and then the Miami Heat were the first 10 seed to ever make the NBA playoffs,
mm-hmm.
and the Cavaliers blew them out in almost every single game of a 4 game sweep,
Yep,
and then had an opportunity to wait while the Pacers gentlemen swept the Bucks.
yeah,
So you're looking at 2 or 3 weeks worth of not real basketball for the Cavaliers, more like practice ball. And then you
yeah,
got a hungry Pacers team who made the conference finals last year come and hit you in the mouth. Um, the Cavaliers defense does not look the same, despite the fact they have the defensive player of the year. Shout out to Evan Mobley, who secured that award this year.
yep,
And also for their coach, they got the coach of the year in Kenny Atkinson. So congrats to them. But I think the Miami Heat failed to prepare them for the intensity level that they have to maintain through 4 quarters.
yeah,
And that Tyrese Halliburton, I think his new nickname now is overrated.
yeah,
Tyrese overrated Halliburton. He is proven to be a real star in this league despite the slow finish. Um,
yeah,
he was injured and didn't play much, if at all, during the Olympic run, and then had a slow start to the regular season.
yep,
And I thought the Pacers looked really bad enough to say that they were going to have a down year this year, and
yeah,
they proved me wrong. So they have the number one team in the East on the ropes in terms of the Cavaliers,
yeah,
and there's a there's a pathway to a Knicks Pacers conference finals,
yeah,
which would be extremely interesting because both teams have not seen a finals appearance since in 25 years. The
yeah,
Knicks made the finals in '99, and the Pacers made the finals in 2000. And that was the last time either made the finals, and they would have an open path if the champs are eliminated, and the Boston Celtics and the number one seed in the East is eliminated by the Pacers. So
yeah.
very interesting.
Yeah, and Cavs are dealing with injury. Evan Mobley, Darius Garland, and DeAndre Hunter are out. Hunter's out with a right thumb sprain. Garland, great toe sprain, and Evan Mobley with a left ankle sprain. I want to make sure that I have this correct because I might have. I feel like I might have saw that they're now all listed as probable for Game 3. That could be wrong, but if my mind is doing me justice
I'll be
here,
interested. I'll be interested in. I'm super interested in the hurt people coming back from injury early to play
yeah,
because that's not what they're doing in the regular season. In the regular
no,
season, for instance, you get a grade one hamstring. It they make you take a minimum of like 3 to 6 weeks off.
yeah,
So in the playoffs, you're pretty much done for the season if you were to take that kind of time off.
yeah,
But in the playoffs, all of a sudden it's different. You got guys like Damian Lillard coming back from deep vein thrombosis
yep,
that ends seasons for players like Victor Wembanyama,
yep.
but he comes back after like 3 weeks.
Yeah, it wasn't
It's
that
it's
long.
pretty much unheard of. You got people. Evan Mobley's going to try to come back from this ankle sprain, which is ridiculous.
Yep,
Jason Tatum came back from a wrist sprain and immediately played.
yep,
I think that was ridiculous. That fall that Jimmy Butler had uh, in Game 2 of the Warriors Rockets series,
yep.
and he ended up missing one game. I think that's
Crazy.
pretty crazy. So who knows what they're doing in terms of protecting the players
Yeah,
and all that stuff. It's going to be a lot like football where concussion, yeah, you're out for 2 games, but it's the playoffs.
no.
You're good. Get out there.
Yeah, yeah. You're gonna see the field today. Um,
We're not going to test you.
yeah, and obviously, I mean, coming back from injury obviously plays a big part because it's like, well, people have said that Darius Garland or the Cavs are a better team without Darius Garland on the court. That is something that was said by Kyle Anderson, I believe, is that's who said that. Correct? Am I remembering correctly? Um,
You talking about the Heat? Maybe.
yeah,
Maybe
they.
Tyler Hero maybe said that.
Yeah, so somebody on the
Kyle
Heat said it.
Anderson.
Oh,
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, I mean, he missed a significant time in the first series as well. I just want to make sure that uh, he missed. Yeah, I mean, he played the first 2 games and hasn't played since. So but that was obviously a 4 game or a 5 game series or 4 game series, 5 game series. Why am I blanking here? But yeah, coming back from injury, I mean, sprains are technically not a big deal at the end of the day. Like those are injuries that you can kind of come back from decently quick, depending on like just your body and how you tend to the care. But yeah, I mean, who knows if they come back and they're just all across the board and like they're scrambled and they can't do anything. And that, but you're in Game 3 and you're down 2-0. Like you don't have time to be scrambled. You have to lock in. Like I obviously I'm enjoying the Pacers winning these games because they're always winning them. I feel like in like dramatic fashion, but yeah, I still would like to see a good series if I can get one. So I'm really hoping the Cavs can kind of pull it out today. But if not, I would not be surprised. I mean, it's a home. I mean, you're on the road in Indy in a place that's loving basketball right now. I mean, like what they got like Caitlin Clark. They have like the Pacers. I mean, they drafted Tyler Warren from the Colts. I mean, I bet Pat McAfee will be sitting courtside. They all love Pat McAfee there. So it's like, I mean, everything's just on the Pacers side here for the Cavs. I mean, like, yeah, I'm feeling a Pacers win today.
Who you got for the series?
Pacers, Pacers. I think initially my pick was Cavs in 6, but I mean, you start a series off 2-0 on the road, take both away wins. I mean, what I mean, you've done pretty much the hardest part. Now you just have to win just the 2 at home, which are easier to win than the 2 on the road. So, um, I'm taking Pacers now, looking at how this series has turned on itself. But I'm gonna take I'm gonna take Pacers. I'm gonna take Pacers in 6. That's now my prediction.
Okay. I I'm struggling to see the Cavs winning 4 out of 5 games, but I think they can do it. They have the depth. and the defense to pull it off. And it's not like the Pacers have won these games as the clear favorite in these games.
Hmm.
I'm going to take a swing and say that the Cavaliers find a way to win these games. And I'll go one step further. I think the Cavs need to win both the games in Indiana in order to do it. I don't see them
Yeah.
going down 3-1 and winning three in a row.
No.
So for that to be in order for my prediction of Cavs in 7 to pan out, I need the Cavs to win the next two games. So my prediction is the Cavaliers win the next two games and they find a way to win in 7.
I don't hate that pick. I don't hate that pick. I understand it. I see it. I mean, if you have like a 20, if you can get a 20-point lead over a team, as long as you just lock in and hold that lead and just don't play stupid basketball. I mean, like Donovan Mitchell had 48, right? Like I want to make sure how do you lose a game where he scores 48? And I know they lost by 1 point, but they still can, they still can get the job done.
The Cavaliers got the coach of the year in Kenny Atkinson. I think
Yep.
he's a lot better coach than Joe Mazzulla,
Yep.
who has a ring. So I
Yeah.
expect Kenny Atkinson to be able to make adjustments and
Yeah.
find a way not to lose those type of leads. And I expect the Celtics to go up 20 and find a way to have the game close anyway. So uh, assuming that the Cavs can get back some of their unhealthy players,
Yep.
especially Evan Mobley, the Defensive Player of the Year, I'm not that worried about whether they got Darius Garland or not. I actually believe what the Heat said to be true is probably
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
He's kind of like a bonus piece as opposed to a piece that puts them over the top type thing.
Yeah. He's not a crucial piece, but he's a piece that, hey, if he's there, he's going to help. I mean, it's
He's
not.
a luxury. He's Kristaps Porzingis
Yeah.
for the Cavaliers.
Seriously.
You're happy if you have him, but
Yeah.
if you don't have him, as long as Donovan Mitchell is playing like Donovan Mitchell and the defense is the defense. So, in order for my prediction to be true, we need the Cavs to win the
To
next
win.
two games. To me, to win. So, if you see the Cavs losing Game 3, don't come yapping at me about my prediction of Cavs in 7 because I'm not seeing it either. Okay, so there's that. But I think they can win games without Evan Mobley too, as well as Darius Garland. So if he misses another
Yeah.
game and they find they find themselves in a close game, I do like Donovan Mitchell and Tyrese Halliburton is not overrated. I just think he can be a little hot, little cold.
Yeah.
It depends on the game and stuff. So
And I mean, but that's always been Tyrese Halliburton. And I feel like just like, obviously, his passing is his best ability. And I feel like people are always thinking about scoring too often. And so I feel like people tend to like forget that like he is a next level passer. Like I mean he's got my respect in that sense. But also I mean I don't know if you saw this, but apparently Joel Embiid has been reaching out to Tyrese Halliburton all throughout this playoffs, telling him to just keep shooting and letting it fly. I mean, it's pretty funny to hear that when you saw some of these clips of those two during the Olympic team. Tyrese was like, "Hey man, come to Indiana," and he was like, "Hell no, I'd rather retire than go to Indiana." Like, it's funny because I mean, like, what if like now, like, I mean, if the Sixers get the number 1 overall pick and they're like, "We're done with Joel Embiid," I mean. It's a spot. It's a spot to send him.
it would have been nice if Joel Embiid would have encouraged his previous teammate in Ben Simmons to shoot. But that's neither here nor there.
Ben Simmons was a lot of flaws.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I do know. Yeah,
It's hard when you just pass up an open shot like that he had. I mean, and then he's done. I mean,
with that being said, so the Pacers were down. Game 2, the Pacers were down 7 with like 40 seconds left in the game.
Yep.
Familiar territory for them, by the way,
Yeah.
because they eliminated the Bucks under the same circumstances in an overtime thriller. But I just want to talk about the free throw rebounding of the Cavaliers for a second.
Yeah.
I think his name is Andrew Nemhart that made that play off of the missed free throw and dunked the ball on top of Donovan Mitchell and nearly broke Donovan Mitchell in half. I thought that was one of the greatest playoff plays I've ever seen in my entire life. Let me know if you
Neesmith,
saw that. If you saw
Aaron Neesmith.
that was Aaron Neesmith that did it.
Aaron
Okay,
Neesmith.
yeah, I thought that was one of the greatest playoff plays I've ever seen in my entire life. I thought that was so incredible. He came from the 3-point line, caught a missed free throw, and dunked it on top of. They should have called a foul.
Yeah.
He was fouled on that dunk rebound, and they had to stop They stopped play to take a look at it, and I'm not sure what they stopped the play for because it was clear. It was clear that everything was good from there. I think personally that they stopped play just for Donovan Mitchell to recover because he yammed it so hard on top of Donovan Mitchell's head. And this is coming from somebody who Donovan Mitchell is his favorite player, by the way, in the Eastern Conference. I already said that in a previous pod. So that's not favoritism at all. But he dunked the ball so hard on Donovan Mitchell's head that he was writhing in pain for like 3 minutes on the ground. And the referee stopped to look at something on the replay, even though there was nothing to look at, because they didn't want the Cavaliers to have to burn their final timeout in order for Donovan Mitchell to recover. So Donovan Mitchell recovers. Obviously, the play is good. They bring the ball in, and Donovan Mitchell grabs the ball, takes and swings to try to free himself, and catches the defender with the elbow, and they call an offensive foul on that. And I think they stopped play to take a look at that too to see if that was intentional. I was like, they just need a play on.
Yeah, I mean, like
then there was another free throw rebound in which Tyrese Halliburton got his own free throw miss, which never happens. It should never happen. That's a complete faux pas on the part of the number one team in the East. And Tyrese Halliburton hits that three over Allen, like you said, to win the game.
And truthfully, I'll say this: Max Strus had the bad inbound pass that led to a turnover. I mean, like, if my brain is doing me justice, I mean, like, I was like freaking out during this moment. I was like, oh, what is about to happen here? And then I just see him just inbound pass. It's just terrible pass. I mean, I'm looking at on the Real app, people, you can comment on plays. I mean, like, this guy said this man has to go into witness protection program. Like, I mean, like, people were like, because it was terrible. And then that's when it led to Tyrese Halliburton going 1 for 2 from the free throw line, getting his own board walk-off three. I mean,
another reason I was right when I said I blame the Heat for this, as Max Strus is a former Miami Heat player. So it's almost like Heat players and former Heat players are out to thwart the Cavs. In these playoffs, and it's gonna look bad on the part of the Cavaliers if they got to the second round with JB Bickerstaff and fired him and thinking that they should get further than the second round, and they get Kenny Atkinson, who I concurred with the pick and thought it was a good pick. He turned out to be coach of the year, but is their ceiling second round again? So what do? You have to be very careful right here, and that's another reason why I feel like the Cavs should come back and pull this off, because they have nowhere to turn to other than offloading players and bringing in lesser players. It's not like you're going to bring in better players if you offload the depth that you got now. Darius Garland isn't like improving his trade stock or anything like that. But you're looking at, where do you turn to if you have a second round ceiling yet again? Even though you change coaches, you're not going to change coaches again.
No, you can't. And you don't, obviously, in the city. Like, he wins coach of the year. I mean, like, I want to say, like, I don't know, like, it the first two games weren't fluky, but it's like sometimes basketball happens, and sometimes you just go down 2-0, and that doesn't mean you just instantly fire your coach of the year, head coach. So, I mean, yeah. I mean, the Cavs. I don't know, the Cavs. I feel like are always going to be stuck in like this sort of mental purgatory for everybody. Like if LeBron's not on the team, like I feel I don't. Maybe that's just me thinking about it because like obviously I like LeBron, but like from the Cavs have done absolutely nothing without LeBron James, and maybe it's just like a curse. And LeBron needs to be a Cav next season, and then they'll win the championship. Like it's just maybe it's destined like that. But yeah, great series in general. Definitely excited for today's game. At what time is that? 4:30 or Pacific time as well. The last series of the second round that we're going to get to here is Timberwolves versus Warriors, tied at a 1-1. And I mean, I just want to give a shout out for game one performance wise, and not. I mean, hey, I mean. Oh, never mind. I was going to say shout out to Buddy Hield game 2 performance as well, but really no, really not a shout out to Buddy Hield game 2 performance. I mean, he shot 5 for 14, but game 1 he turned from Alfred to Robin according to Jimmy Butler. I mean, before we get deep into it, I just want to say like I enjoy watching Jimmy Butler and Buddy Hield like in those after press conferences. Like those are always entertaining to me. They're always fun to watch. And then like you got all like the TikToks. It's just perfect for clip farming material. But game 1 goes by. We obviously have a Golden State win. How what are your thoughts thus far? I mean, your team just played the Warriors. Maybe you can give some Timberwolves fans some hope.
They got plenty of hope. Steph
Yeah.
Curry's out. Steph Curry's going to be out, I think, for the rest of the series.
Yeah.
So I think the Timberwolves shouldn't have any problems moving forward. I'm very interested because I could have sworn that Draymond Green had 6 technical fouls in the first round against the Rockets. And he got a technical foul in the last game,
Yep.
2 against the Wolves. A reviewed by the referees technical foul, and that should have been 7. That's an automatic 1-game suspension. But when I read an article about the recap of that game, they said that was his 5th technical. So did some other technicals get rescinded, or am I missing some? Or maybe I'm counting those flagrants as technicals. I'm not sure. It seemed like he had.
You know,
It seemed like he had 6 technical fouls in that first round series against the Rockets. So I just expected that he was going to be suspended for game 3, and the Warriors would be down 2 starters. But more to follow on that. I think the Rockets. Yeah, see if you can look that up. But the Rockets wore the Warriors out in the middle of game 1. Jimmy Butler was complaining heavily about fatigue.
Yep.
Even though they were blowing out the Timberwolves, and you can kind of see it on a lot of those players' faces, from Kevon Looney to Draymond to everybody. Like I feel like they got worn out pretty hard by that 7-game series they had to face, and now they're short Steph Curry. I personally don't like their chances. If we want to jump into predictions real quick, I got Timberwolves winning the rest of the games.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a 5-game series.
Yeah, I have Timberwolves in 5 as well. That was my initial pick. In the first place, I kind of thought that the Timberwolves were kind of just almost going to like walk through the Warriors, but I do have it pulled up. Draymond Green did receive 4 technical fouls and 2 flagrant fouls in the first round. So he is now with 5, which it feels like a lot more than that. I thought he got one pretty much every other game except I think like game 3 or something. I don't know. You get so many, they almost just blend in to the same thing. Yeah, but I have Timberwolves in 5. I think the ankle turn scared everyone for sure. I mean, it definitely scared me initially. But yeah, I'm taking Timberwolves in 5 here. I think they can clean it up. It's going to be
One thing I'm
hard. I
gonna
mean, Jimmy
say,
Butler's going to have to be like next level. But he's hurt, so it's like he can't really be next level. Draymond Green's not going to turn into Steph Curry. Buddy Hield might, but do I expect that to happen for them to win the series? Absolutely not.
I think that. Oh, before I continue with my thoughts there, I just wanted to say that I really like that. I'm not sure if you know that Dante DiVincenzo commercial that they show where he
The
used to
one with all
play
like with Jalen
with
Brunson and
Jalen
all them.
Brunson,
Yeah, I
and
love that commercial.
yeah, I just think it's so funny the way they did that because they used to be teammates in
Yeah,
Villanova and on the Knicks, and it's like I wish we could be teammates again. And
yeah,
Jalen Brunson throws him a hat, and it's
yeah.
like,
He's just
hey,
like he
it's like
puts it on.
we'll always be teammates. It doesn't matter. I
I'm
thought that was pretty
interested to
funny.
know when that was recorded because obviously like we had like the scuffle between Dante DiVincenzo and Rick Brunson. I this oh, my computer just opened an email on my screen. All right, we're back. I just want to like preface this. I mean, like whenever for some reason, whenever I'm watching Knicks games, I don't. I'm always looking for Rick Brunson. I'm always looking for him, like just to see what he's doing. It's just a person I'm
Assistant
always.
coach,
I'm
assistant
just
coach
yeah.
by
I mean, that's why I'm
of the
always looking for
Knicks.
him. I'm always just concerned for Rick Brunson because I feel like he might be kind of like a crazy guy. Like I mean, Dante DiVincenzo doesn't like him. I mean, he what was he saying when they were beefing at the beginning of the year? What like pretty much like right after he got traded, they were beefing about something. Obviously, he was saying he can't shoot or something like that. But yeah, that
Gotta
was
love these players' fathers getting involved in these
yeah.
against their competitors.
Yeah,
John
you think we're
Halliburton.
playing little league baseball, but no, we're deep into the playoffs, and we have controlling parents, I guess.
But yeah, Steph Curry grade one hamstring
Yep.
game in the middle of game one. The Warriors looked like they were controlling that game, by the way, and Anthony
Mhm.
Edwards had a hard time getting off to score some points.
Yeah.
But unlike Jalen Green, he was able to stay aggressive and finish that game 8 for 12, I believe, from um, from the field. So he finished that game 8 for 20 after starting 0-9,
Mhm.
and they still got blown out, but you can see how they're still willing to stay aggressive and
Yeah.
seemed like they broke the Warriors a little bit, especially now in game two. You had Draymond Green with his antics, and
Yeah.
you got guys kind of, I want to say intentional, but attacking Anthony Edwards, and he battles back from injury to continue playing in that game. So
Yeah.
I do like the Timberwolves winning a close game or a blowout game against the Warriors moving forward.
Yeah.
I don't think Jimmy has it in him to score. All of the scoring is going to have to be from the outside because the inside is closed between Nas Reed and Rudy
Pretty
Gobert,
good there. Yeah.
and I'm just not seeing Buddy Hield magnet ball again. Like that was a fluke in order for them to come out of that
Yeah.
Rocket series, and they're not going to see that again. That's just my opinion. Even if they did see that again, not enough scoring on their end to be able to sustain for a victory.
Yeah.
They got 2 games in Golden State. Uh, I don't expect them to win either. But even if they split, I'm not seeing them winning moving forward after that. So if
Yeah. I
it's
mean,
not five, it's six, and that's for sure.
yeah. Uh, I mean, like in game one, I mean, Buddy Hield had a crazy magnet ball game, like scoring 16 points, I believe, just by himself, like in the third quarter. Like that was like, I mean, like what do you like at that point? Like you just like pretty much got to wave the white flag. I mean, like Buddy Hield is almost like just beating you like himself, pretty much. And then obviously you come into game two, and obviously Ant did get hurt, but you did win. So Yeah, I think as if I was a Timberwolves fan, which my roommate is, I told him, I was like, don't be concerned. Like, I mean, y'all are chilling. Like it's not gonna. I don't think anything big is gonna come from this. So, yeah, that would pretty much mean that we're gonna get a Thunder Timberwolves Western Conference Finals. So that'd be pretty interesting to see. So
That's a division rivals too, by the way.
yeah, yeah. See, I'm excited for that game 3 tonight. That I don't know. We got 2 good games today. We're getting some good basketball here. Finally, because I feel like we kind of were getting a few just like stinker games that we got 2 bad really game 7. So it was just it's refreshing to get some good basketball in. All right, Joe. Any final thoughts on the Timberwolves versus Warriors? Any final thoughts? I feel like we kind of went over everything there.
Sad for Steph Curry.
Yeah,
that he's potentially going to miss the rest of the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think, just like I said about LeBron, it doesn't really define his legacy that he's out in round 2 or whatever, or that he's injured or anything like that. I feel like it's worse for Jimmy Butler and his ability to come out of the year with a ring, or even his career with a ring, because him being signed to a full max extension, like I think a 3-year extension.
I think it was 2 years, 80. I think maybe that's wrong.
It's gonna make it really difficult for them to get through 80 games, 82 game season and play again next year with essentially the same roster, because I don't see a way for them to improve other than internally if Kuminga pops out or whatever.
Yeah.
And I also think he might be a restricted free agent. I need to double check that. So they're running low on youth, which was a Milwaukee Bucks problem, and you see where they're at.
Yeah.
So, and we'll discuss that in a dead ball review. But I'm a little worried about the Warriors' future.
Yeah. No, and I am as well. I mean, it's just not. I mean, they kind of they fumbled the bag drafting James Wiseman. I mean, I feel like that kind of goes back to a lot of it. I mean, it's like if James Wiseman would have panned out, it would have been everything would be looking fine. All right, Hidro.
Take a look at that draft, man.
No, I know, right? How crazy is that draft?
Tyrese Halliburton was in that draft, right?
Let me see. What draft was that? 2020? That was the 2020 draft because that was the COVID draft. NBA 2020 draft. Let's just go through the top.
And let me be on the record. I really dislike James Wiseman. I've always disliked James Wiseman. I had zero faith in him ever since college when he punted on Memphis' season in order to get ready for the playoffs. I thought that was one of the most disrespectful things, especially for, I think, was a brand new coach in Penny Hardaway.
Yeah.
To start off his career, and you almost submarine the entire season for all of those guys by just choosing not to play anymore.
Yeah.
For no reason. So I didn't like that, and I didn't like how the Warriors rewarded him by being the second overall pick, even though he showed you nothing. And so you expected that to just somehow blend in with a Steph Curry and Draymond Green and all that stuff, and it did not pan out when they could have picked who in that draft.
Well, I mean, so obviously Anthony Edwards went number 1. James Wiseman went 2. You have LaMelo, Patrick Williams, Isaac Okoro, Onyeka Okongwu, Killian Hayes, Obi Toppin, Denny Advi. Yeah, I don't want to disrespect him, man. Jalen Smith, Devin Vassell, Tyrese, Aaron Nesmith, Cole Anthony, Sadiq Bey, Tyrese Maxey, Jaden McDaniels, Desmond Bain, Nick Richards, Isaiah Joe, Kenyon Martin Jr.
A lot of good names there.
Yeah, I mean, Cassius.
I heard that they had the ability to trade up to get Anthony Edwards too if they wanted him. because a lot of people were kind of iffy on Anthony Edwards coming in based on some of his quotes about him liking football better than basketball and some
Yeah,
other
they were
stuff
like,
like
"Is
that.
his mind in one sport?" It's like, yes, his mind is in one
So
sport.
so
Like,
so so the Warriors had the opportunity to trade up for him, and Steve Kerr, I think, said something to the effect of, "Even if we had the number one pick, we wouldn't draft you." I think
yeah,
he said that to
because
Anthony
he was
Edwards.
lazy in his workouts. Apparently, that's what Steve Kerr said. I mean, now I'm guessing like he probably doesn't regret saying
Steve
that because that probably gave Anna some fire under his ass to like get him going. But
Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr also said he wanted Tyrese Halliburton. He was willing to trade down and go get him, but he wasn't graded as a number 2 overall pick.
yeah,
But the Warriors declined to trade down to
I
trade down
think
and go and get
I'm
Tyrese.
maybe I'm like misremembering completely wrong, but I feel like Steve Kerr was one of the guys like said like something about Tyrese as well. Like if they were to have taken him, they would have changed his jump shot completely around. And like I think Tyrese Halliburton wasn't happy about like that he said that or something. Maybe I'm completely misremembering the situation. This is just my mind just doing work. But where can they find you, Hidro?
I'm at the Hero Joe, THAHEROJOE, on X and Instagram. You can also see my articles on bellyupsports.com. How about yourself, Jacob?
You can find me on Twitter at Hammy2004. Hammy spelled with an IE at the end, not Hammy like you think it would be. And then obviously follow us on Twitter at the Hardwood Huddle. Once again, apologies for the long delay. We were experiencing technical difficulties, but all right, Hidro.
Draft lottery coming up, and
Yep.
the draft lottery coming up, and plenty more second round action. So
Yeah.
look forward to seeing us on another pod.
Draft lottery is Monday as well. Just so everyone remembers that because I forgot myself. All right. Hope you all enjoyed the episode. Make sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Peace.